Hey, Trueflight. Yeah, check it out. All hooked up. Got a little banner. Got a little Curious Obsession counter. Got some borders. I assembled it the old-fashioned way by just using blocks of rectangular blocks of color and moving them all around in the thing. Like, this isn't a frame. This is just a bunch of blue blocks that I moved around. I can't figure out how to make like a now playing thing. I'll figure that out at some point, but not currently a function that my high-tech stream can support. We'll get there at some point. I think I have all the sizes of things set up correctly. I don't know. If we have to fiddle with it, we'll fiddle with it. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not going to bother recording this one. We'll have the VOD. So, if you haven't seen this, if you didn't see the last stream we did, playing Curious Obsession, just trying it out. It was the deck was fine last league I did, but not because of Curious Obsession. And I don't know. I mean, it we drew one card in a full league because we sided it out in every single match. So we only ever even had it in our deck in game ones, and a lot of game ones are pretty quick. But we're gonna try it again. We're gonna put it through the gauntlet, run it into the ground, and see what we think after that. Since Curious Obsession is not so good with Phantasmal Image, and just because we got to cut something to make room, I am playing 0 Phantasmal Images and set up to 4 Selfless Spirit. Because Selfless Spirit can protect an obsessed creature and also make it easier for an obsessed creature to attack into the face of blockers. Well, so Trueflight, yeah, I sided it out all the time because it was always bad in the matches that we played it in. I'm not trying to brute force test this thing and be like, no matter what, I'm gonna play it, and even if it's bad, you know, I want to see what it feels like. And we played against like 8 whack and a lightning bolt filled blue-red deck, and Dredge with stinkweed imps. It was just like we played against a bunch of decks that we couldn't have this sort of like air card that's supposed to get us into the mid to late game. We needed to be fast in all these matchups. We had a ton of stuff decided. And Curious Obsession is something we want against like a deck that's going to go slightly longer with us, like Humans or Hollow One, or obviously any control deck. But we were up against like fast decks and decks filled with lightning bolts, and so we always need to decide it out. I think that probably it's fine to have Phantasmal Image in the deck, but that's what we're cutting out for now. In the sideboard, we're pretty focused, a little more focused than we've been in the past. 2 and 3 ofs mostly. 3 Rest in Peace, 3 Stony Silence, 2 Disdainful Stroke, 2 Echoing Truth. And then the 1 ofs are Aryok Champion, Kira, Field of Ruin, Grafdigger's Cage, and Damping Sphere. And I feel pretty good about this sideboard. This is a good looking sideboard in my opinion. The conclusion that we drew last league was, well, we didn't really draw any conclusions, but one thought that we had was that you know, Obsession might be a fine main deck card because it just sort of doesn't really have like a great place, but it's a fine just a fine card that furthers the game plan, and then you generally can side it out into more impactful cards. Or something like that. I don't know. Alright, everything's lined up. Nice. Nice. Cool. Yeah, so Trublight, we actually had this crazy string of games where, like, we were up against, was it 8-whack? I think it was 8-whack. And we actually didn't even attack for the entire second game. We won the game by concession, and we never actually attacked. And then game 3, we didn't attack for the first time until, like, turn 7. So, like, imagine having a Curious Obsession in that game. It was very silly and made it really obvious that, like, the whole has to attack thing is a pretty huge downside. Sometimes it has the potential to be a pretty huge downside. Is what I mean. We're gonna keep this hand. We have this is a great hand. Arid Mesa passed. Pretty unusual start. Our opponent also kept 7 cards. There just aren't that many decks that play Arid Mesa that aren't gonna, like, highly prioritize a turn 1 play. I wonder what this is. Probably going to be a deck that immediately bolts this Wanderer, but we'll see. Trublight, Sentinel Totem might be pretty good, but Grafdigger's Cage also stops Court of Calling Collected Company. So it's not as good as other pieces of Graveyard Hate, but the fact that it's also Coco and Chord Hate is huge because Vizier Druid combo in particular is a really tough matchup for Blue-White Spirits. Wow. Dawn of Hope. Modern staple. Wonder what that could mean. I think it's going to be nice to play out Thalia. Well, maybe we should get the Supreme Phantom in play. Or, of course, we could just play out the Aether Vial. But I don't think we'd need the Aether Vial. That'll come down way later, if ever. I think Thalia is probably going to be good. This could be like Norin Sisters. But that's still a deck that really wants turn 1 play, so I don't know. I don't know what this is. Norin Sisters is my guess. Oh, I know that Sentinel Totem and Grafdigger's Cage have different functions, but they both have the same general purpose, which is to hate on graveyards. Alright, Soul Warden. Oh no! Damn it. Oh, that stinks. Little mouse click lag, and I just animated my Mutavault so I couldn't cast Rattlechains. That sucks. Alright, well, one Soul Warden is something we can fight through. If they get a couple of them, it's going to be tough. I'm holding up Queller here because I want to make sure we can stop something like a Ranger of Eos. Put in the Rattlechains now. Pathing our Rattlechains. Get Selfless into play. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So they paid 2 to draw the cards, so now we can counter this. This is a pretty weird looking deck that we're up against right now. Dawn of Hope in Modern. Never thought I'd see the day. We just want to get the Phantom out now. True Flight, I agree. That's why I think that Grafdigger's Cage is good, because it is versatile. It can be brought in against graveyard decks, but it can also be brought in against Collected Company decks. That's exactly the kind of thing you're talking about, I think. Toolboxy and versatile. Lightning Bolt. Is there anything that could happen now on this turn that we get wrecked by? Like, if they have a Norin, are we in trouble? Or can we quell this safely? I think I'm going to quell this. They're at 13. Windbrisk Heights. That is not looking like it has any text on it right now. Here comes Norin. Alright, put this to 3. So I guess we should probably just attack with everything, including the Mutavault. They don't need to block, but they're awfully pressured to. I'm going to go ahead and always yield to that. Get that right out of here. Alright. Looking pretty good here. I don't think they can do anything about 10 flying. 2 mana path on Spell Queller. We'll quell that. Man, they drew a lot of cards and didn't do anything. Oh yeah, Knight of Autumn, speaking of versatile sideboard cards. Very true. Very true. Do we have anything for this matchup at all? Kira's probably okay. We saw Bolt and Path. They probably also have Helix. Echoing Truth might be okay too, if we can bounce a whole bunch of Soul Sisters, or if we need to reset like a big Ajani's Pride Mate. They probably also play Champion of the Parish. Should we bring in Disdainful Stroke to try to hit specifically Ranger of Eos? Probably not. Probably not. This is going to be a good matchup for Curious Obsession. Thalia was okay. Selfless Spirit's okay. They probably aren't playing Sweepers. They might have Settle the Wreckage. I think we want the Lords because they're going to really help us present our clock. Let's go to Selfless and Thalia. Alright, so we gotta be careful with Kira plus... No, I need to cut one more. Damn. I think I actually just want to get rid of the Thalias. We need to be careful with Kira plus Curious Obsession. Don't forget, I'm saying it out loud, don't forget, if Kira's in play, we cannot enchant our own creature with Curious Obsession without doing something else to pop the bubble first. Alright. Very, very clear plan this game. Turn 2, Wanderer, Rattlechains. Turn 3, Drogskol, attack. Go from there. Or if they're looking like they're going to do something threatening, we'll hold up Spell Queller. We're going to have to deal a lot of damage this game. Gotta hope they don't have Norin this turn. And then we're probably gonna hold up Spell Queller for Norin. This looks like a good opportunity to try to block something with Wanderer. Getting these off the table is probably good. Oh man, I do love me 61 card special, that's for sure. Alright, let's try to save this. They just F6'd. So weird. This player just is, they do not care. They're playing loose. Just get a Wanderer in play. Play out. Let's fetch a basic island, play out the Drogskol from our hand, put a Queller on Vial. My chat delay is unusually long. Let me double check something. It might be that this was like offset. Okay, I'm seeing it pop up pretty much immediately. So it might be mobile. I don't know what our opponent's doing. They've kept like a hand with no spells. I don't understand. That was it? That was so weird. Whatever. Don't really understand what they were doing. It's like, what do you think was in their hand? Like they didn't cast any spells, right? They had an unclaimed territory. Maybe they had a bunch of lightning bolts. That's possible. They could have had a bunch of non-creature red spells. Unclaimed territory seems really bad in that deck. Unless they were like playing random green and black humans, and like maybe they're playing Meddling Mage and Kitesail Freebooter and Sin Collector and all that stuff. That was a weird match. Still have not drawn any cards with Curious Obsession. Haven't even drawn it yet. This hand is fine, I guess. A 1 or a 2 would be a nice thing to draw, because right now we don't really have anything to do for a little while. Is that a tapped Hissing Quagmire? Sure is. So that suggests it's probably green-black rock. I like that draw. That is a nice draw. So let's get a basic points. This is probably a Field of Ruin deck. Well, I don't know. So truthfully, if they're playing like if they're actually playing Norin Sisters, like, just go for it, you know? It's fine. There's a definite human sub-theme in that deck. I just don't think that Unclaimed Territory is necessary for that sub-theme. Scavenging Ooze. A little bit of an unexciting draw there. Grabbing some basics now, but I'm probably going to fetch a Hallowed Fountain with our next fetch land, because this is probably a Field of Ruin deck that we're up against, and I don't... Well, actually, in that case, maybe it is better to have all the basics out. I don't know. We can definitely take this hit. As long as we're not putting creatures in our graveyard, that Scooze is not scary. I'd rather path the Treetop Village if possible. Oh, well, we can just path both. Alright, this is a deck that is playing destruction-based removal, unless they're like Obzon and just haven't drawn a Plains. So we can protect our Spell Queller with Selfless Spirit, which is pretty nice. Fetch a basic island again. Actually, I think I do want the Hallowed Fountain. We'll go to 11, which is kind of wild, but... Alright, they're just letting us do whatever we want. Weird games so far today. Put it to 3, put this to 2. Let's play the Drogskol now. Nah, let's see if we can get him. Alright, nice. Alright. Cool. Nice little 2 for 0 right there. Got 2 removal spells out of their hand. It's pretty clear that they were holding these removal spells since they didn't animate the Treetop Village. Liliana of the Veil. Just replace that Selfless Spirit with a new one. Feels good to get a game here. Not that we've won yet, but we're in pretty good shape. When it's game 1 and we're drawing a bunch of Aether Vials, because we definitely don't want these Aether Vials in this matchup. Whether it's Green, Black, Rock, or Junk, doesn't really matter. We don't want either one. So we'll kill Lily, we'll attack for 6. Right now we have 8 power in the air, so it doesn't really make too much of a difference if they eat something with Skoos or not. So if it did, like if we could kill them next turn without the life gain, then I'd probably path the Skoos there. But we can't kill them in 1 turn either way, so let's just wait. Hold on the paths. They have another Liliana, that'll be a little tough for us. I think it's probably worth saving this. We actually still get the land, which is kind of funny. Big value. They eat something, if they try to eat a Selfless, I'll path this. No. It is a shame they get to go to 6 now. So we probably have 2 or 3 more turns until we can kill them. They did not get a basic mount. Not that Jund would play it, but it looks like this is probably not Jund. It's probably green-black. The Hissing Quagmire sort of suggests that, because this is so much worse than Raging Ravine. Questionable sequencing there. Played the land, then played the Tireless Tracker. Okay. Yes, we'll use that. Get another land. We'll keep our vials on 2 and 3, and we'll draw a non-land. Great. Perfect. Get this into play now. so we can put him on a 2-turn clock. I'm not gonna path this yet. Any thoughts on Ultimate Masters? I think it's kind of insane, but at the same time, I think it's what people have been asking for. Like, the price tag does sound crazy high at a glance, you know, but the price tag is crazy high, but the expected value of a pack and a box so far seems to actually be close to the sale price. And at the end of the day, if MSRP and EV are close, then the price doesn't really matter. Obviously, the buy-in is higher, but ultimately, you're paying for the cards in the pack, and if the cards in the pack are worth what you're paying, then what's the problem? So I think when all these people have been like, oh, you need to print a master set with like all the expensive reprints possible, every expensive card in the format, put it in a master set. Obviously that's going to have a super high price tag. So I don't know. It's like, it shouldn't be that surprising to people that it's crazy expensive. Those are my rambling thoughts. Okay, so we drew a fair bit of lands there and 2 Aether Vials, and we clawed our way out. They're on a mulligan. Kira is the best card in our deck for this matchup. Field of Ruin is also probably pretty good, and Rest in Peace is probably good, because they're definitely playing Tarmogoyf. Should we play Auriok Champion? I don't know. We saw Skooz in Tireless Tracker, so obviously you can't block that. It also can't really block Grimflayer very well, so it's sort of only good against their cards like Angler and Death Shadow if they're playing either of those, but they're probably not, so let's not bring an Auriok Champion. Disdainful Stroke seems bad. Echoing Truth unnecessary. They have a ton of removal, so I think it's risky to play Curious Obsession. I think this is a good... Oh wait, but actually I want to set out the Vials, so maybe we will keep in the Curious Obsessions. So we side out our Aether Vials and one Drogskol Captain, because the Hexproof is not as good as Kira. That seems good to me. 22 lands since we're cutting Vials. I don't know, I kind of like that the box toppers are like, just sort of a chase premium lottery ticket thing that's totally separate and in addition to the box. I think that's how they should do. Buy a box promos. I think it's cool. It's not an exclusive card, it's just an exclusive edition of a card, which is supposed to cater to collectors. Like, it is a collectible game. I don't think they're intended for the average player to acquire them. I think they're supposed to be chase collector's items. Like, I think the fact that the average player isn't going to be able to acquire these is a feature, not a bug. We lost our Drogskol Captain. Very sad. We're definitely on the back foot here. If they can play a threat that we're prompted to path, maybe we let that Goyf survive. Because at least by getting Selfless Spirit down on this upcoming turn, if they play Liliana and minus, then we can still we're not like, already dead. The tough part is if they pass on turn 2, then we play a creature, they kill it on our end step, and then untap and play Liliana when we have no creatures in play. That's when we lose this game. But as is, I think we'll be okay. You hope it doesn't seriously devalue your Noble Hierarchs. I think that exact mindset is why it's so expensive. Which is fine. That is okay. I think that the intent is to make these cards a little bit more accessible, but they don't want to crash the market. And not just for the players. I don't think that the average player's collection value is something that Wizards really cares too much about, but they definitely care about the value of a store's secondary market sellings, or their secondary market collection value. Because if stores can't sell the Magic cards, then the stores are going to stop supporting Magic. So, hey, you know, sometimes you make it big on the cards. Sometimes you get burned. It happens. All right. Can't quell it. What am I talking about? We don't have 3 mana. Fine. You get a Tireless Tracker. We get a Rattlechains. They didn't play a land, did they? That was turn 4. All right. So they played a Tireless Tracker, but they don't have a land. Probably not going to Field of Ruin them. Okay, now they have a land. If they try to field us, we'll be able to cast Spell Queller and Path or Wanderer in one turn, which is nice. Definitely just going to take 6. They don't have Bolt, so we're not really too concerned about surprise damage out of nowhere. I like getting a Wanderer into play. I mean a Phantom. Yes, Field of Ruin does not care. Does not care if it's a creature as well as a land. It just cares that it is a non-basic land, which Treetop Village always is. So you can wait for them to attack and then field it. Yeah. I think we're gonna let that resolve. Spell Queller is a more important thing for us to protect with Selfless Spirit. So. We're going to Field of Ruin our Field of Ruin. We'll get a Plains and Path the Tireless Tracker. It's a nice draw. Alright, let's path that Goyf. It's about time. Alright, so now we get to attack with everything. Oh, that's great. So we'll attack with everything, and they'll probably try to remove something when we do it, and then we can flash in Spell Queller, which will both stop the removal spell and buff our Wanderer. Now that we have the Wanderer, we can actually do that with Wanderer first. We can, like, proactively flash this in. If they have, like, double Fatal Push, that'll be tricky. But anything but that. You would path the tracker before they make landfall off Field of Ruin if I had the mana up. Yes. Yes. Your question is, when they fielded us with a tracker in play and I had path in hand, would it have been better to path in response to Field of Ruin had I had the mana? Yeah, absolutely. Because then the tracker would be off the battlefield before the field gets a land, and therefore they miss landfall. But as you said, I didn't have the mana. I needed the white mana from the Field of Ruin ability in order to actually path the thing. So they were getting the clue no matter what, but as you can see, they did not even sack any of the clues, so it didn't even matter. Cool, 2-0. Curious Counter. Still at 0. Still 0. Alright, well, so far so good, though it has nothing to do with Field of Ruin. Aether Vial just makes our deck so much worse against these green-black mid-range decks. Really black mid-range in general. Aether Vial is just such a rough card against those. It's sort of like, in a game that goes long, Aether Vial loses a lot of value. Aether Vial, like, gets worse every turn after turn 4 until eventually, by, like, turn 8, it's like it's not even on the battlefield anymore. So if you have a game that's going to go long, it just loses a lot of value. And on top of that, by playing it, you are taking a card out of your own hands. So it's sort of like discarding a card if the card that you're playing ends up having no value. And against the Thoughtseize Inquisition deck, you don't want to be discarding hands for no reason, or discarding cards for no reason. So I'm really glad that we were able to win game 1 there. Alright, we are on the draw again. Against IPAs for Days. I feel like I've seen this person before. I think they play... This is a risky hand. It's got 2 lands, 2 2-drops, and then bangers at 3. I'm going to keep it. Hope to find the 3rd land since we're on the draw. I think this person was playing like a blue-red Thing in the Ice deck last time I saw them, but I could be misremembering. I barely remember their name. They could have also been playing Dredge. I don't know. Wow, Pendelhaven Mishra's Bauble. Now that is a sequence of cards I have not seen before. I guess this is Hardened Scales with Mishra's Bauble. I can't think of any other deck that could possibly play Mishra's Bauble plus Pendelhaven. Very weird. We'll just start out with the tapped Hallowed Fountain. Well, Thalia is really bad against Hardened Scales. Okay, it is Hardened Scales. Scary to see a Steel Overseer and we have no answer to it in our hand. I'm gonna play out a Selfless Spirit. and hope that they... Well, that's pretty risky, actually. Maybe we should play Supreme Phantom to hope that they don't have Walking Ballista. Or in case they do, because if we play Selfless Spirit and they have Walking Ballista, they just play it for 1 and then activate Overseer and kill our Selfless Spirit for 3. So let's get this in play just in case. That Steel Overseer is probably going to win the game. It's the hardest card in their deck for us to deal with because it accumulates value over time. They have the Ballista, we just die anyway. Okay, wow, so they have a Ballista. We are dead. There's no reason to play this game. Alright, wow, brutal. Okay, so bring in all of our Rest in Pieces, of course. Echoing Truth is okay. Hero's pretty good. And Stony Silence, obviously. Probably don't need 3 Rest in Peace. I sort of said those backwards. Rest in Peace is fine. It stops Modular, but it doesn't really, and it stops Hangerback Walker. It obviously doesn't mess with Steel Overseer at all. Thalia is no good. Thalia protects us against Nature's Claim, but that's not really that relevant. And then we can cut these vials since we're bringing in 3 Stony Silence. I'm gonna stay at 21 lands here. Actually, let's bring this in 22 lands. On the, you know what? Maybe we should. No, it's fine. 22 lands on the play. Maybe we'll go down for go down to 21 lands on the draw. All right, that is Rest in Peace, not Stony Silence, but I think this is still fine. Shutting down Ravager is nice, and also, you know, if they Nature's Claim it, then that's just one fewer Nature's Claims for us to deal with if we get a Stony on board. Alright, we'll just get the Rest in Peace play for now. Kira's gonna be good. Find Hardened Scales Affinity more annoying than Tron? Wow. I do not. I think Hardened Scales Affinity is cool. Alright, check it out. Hangerback Walker that doesn't do anything because of Rest in Peace. Neat. Too bad Kira doesn't protect your non-creature permanents. Or, you know, like your permanents in general. That'd be cool. Ancient Stirrings is kind of nice when you already have a disruptive enchantment in play because they can't get Nature's Claim. Walking Ballista X equals 1. Alright. Let's get a Selfless Spirit in play. I'm going to grab a basic Plains with this now, and then if they go to put a counter on the Ballista, we'll path it. Otherwise, I'm not really afraid of the Ballista, and I want to save the path for a Steel Overseer, because that is, that's the scary thing. Another Ballista. Come on, Rattlechains. I like Wanderer. Seems pretty good. Fire up a Mutavault. Cool. That's good. Make sure we click the right one here. So our newly controlled Mutavault is going to make mana. Our non-summoning sick Mutavault is going to be a creature. We'll attack. Path one of these. Path one of these. At this point, no longer afraid of a Steel Overseer because of the point in the game that we're at. We'll have 5 attackers next turn, so the only thing that's dangerous now is Nature's Claim followed by Ravaging. If they have both of those, then we're in trouble. Okay, they have the Nature's Claim. Pretty good draw. Cool. Obliterator Devotion. Yeah, that's a spicy deck. Mono black Devotion with Phyrexian Obliterator. What are the 3-mana things you play in that deck? Liliana and Phyrexian Arena or something? You play Geralf's Messenger. I think it might be worth bringing in another Echoing Truth. I don't know, maybe not. No, it's fine. We will cut a land though. Let's cut Moorland Haunt. 2 mana in the mono black deck would be what? The newish one, the Aetherborn, Gifted Aetherborn, right? That's a big one. Wow, look at that. 2 lands, 2 stonies. Nice. And if we hit a land, we can even start protecting it. Animation module. So you can the servos thing is the servos thing is a triggered ability, so they can still do that. Okay, so Get the ball rolling here. Dread Shade. Wow, Dread Shade. That's sick. Yeah, you can totally play that. Oh my goodness. Dread Shade's sick. Alright. 1 mana. Or, wait, 2? Oh yeah, because Hanger Backwalker. Land. Nice. Alright, this is fine. Oh, we'll protect our Stony Silence with Spell Queller. Otherwise, we'll play Nebelgast Herald end of turn. Start beating down. Okay, so they have a Stony Silence, or a Nature's Claim, so let's just play out the Nebelgast, let them Nature's Claim this, and then play our second one. They must... Oh wow, that's so weird. Alright, so we'll just get this in play. Start attacking. I guess they just didn't attack because they... That was weird. I don't know why they didn't attack. I love the idea of Dread Shade in a mono black Nykthos Urborg deck. That's so dope. Okay, you can have a Ravager. Nice, that is awesome. Honestly, the Rattlechains we just drew means that we probably could have played out the second Stony Silence safely. But whatever. Another Hanger Backwalker with 2 counters. I'll get another Servo. That's fine. We will still win this race for sure. Thief of Sanity. Is Thief of Sanity the new Spectre? Like, it's like the Nightvale Spectre, but the new one. '82 card deck. Classic. That's hilarious. Actually, yeah, when I first got back into Magic, I played as a little kid, and then when I first got back into it, it was around Zendikar, and my first deck was mono black vampires. Had like Gul'Dra's Assassin or something, and Vampire Lacerator, Vampire Nighthawk, all those dope vampires. Alright, so they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 power. We have 7 power. With Spell Queller, we'll be up to 9. So we can kill them in 2 turns. There's not really any way for them to change that. So we'll just get our second Stony in play, get the insurance. We'll take 8 next turn. We'll flash in Queller and then hit him for 9 following turn. So I think actually because they're holding up all this mana, we should just attack with Spell Queller and Selfless Spirit to put them to 6. Nebelgast Herald to put them to 4. Block. Yeah, okay. So we'll just attack with Selfless and Nebelgast. Nature's Claim on their own. Okay, so we'll path that. The reason why I'm not quelling that Nature's Claim is because I just want to make sure that we still have Queller for a Nature's Claim pointed at... Oh, we have 2 Stonies now? I don't know, it doesn't really matter. They have another Nature's Claim? Edgar is ridiculous. Yeah, Edgar is a crazy commander. Okay, so we're just gonna block and sack Selfless. That'll put us to 3, which means even if we draw Fetch or Shock, we can still play out a land and have double Queller. Oh, I don't want to... So I'm actually going to block like this and like this because I don't want to kill... Like if I have to flash in Queller, I want to make sure that I don't accidentally kill this, because if I kill this, then I think we lose. This is a weird little thing where like I need to make sure that Hangerback Walker doesn't die. And if I block Hangerback Walker with Mausoleum Wanderer and then they cast a spell that we have to counter with Spell Queller, then Wanderer buffs to a 2/2 and kills this, and they get 2 tokens and they kill us. So that is a weird line. But I totally messed up once by accidentally buffing a Wanderer when I didn't want to buff it before, so I'm not going to fall for that again. They took the honorable way out. The honorable way out, dismember themselves. Wow. That would have been a good one to quell. I guess that was their line. Their angle was to try to kill their own hanger back with their removal spells, but they went to 4, and that... I guess, nice. Good thing we put into 4. Alright, so we're 3-0. We still have not cast a single Curious Obsession. Curious Obsession counter is still at 0. We're just going to keep on going. The joke I've heard a lot is that, like, Spirits is just a 57 card deck. Like, you can play 3 of any other card and it still works fine. And that's, like, been proven pretty much consistently with all these stupid decks that we've been playing, where just play these random other 3 cards in these flex spots for just whatever, and keep winning, but not because of those cards. We're not even drawing them. Have not even seen a Curious Obsession yet in this league. Have not seen the card anywhere except for in the deck list. That's pretty fun. Alright, we're finally on the play. Hey, look, there's a Curious Obsession. Screw it. Let's see what happens. Let's keep this hand. Let's see what happens. Copperline Gorge for what? It's Dredge! It's Dredge! Alright, let's do it. Let's get obsessed here. Bam! They mill 2 lands. Yes, draw a card. Yeah, Curious Obsession counter is at 1. Pass. Still no Dredger. Two Bloodghasts, and there's a Stinkweed Imp. Okay, well, we're going to path the Stinkweed Imp. And I think I'll also use one of our paths on the Bloodghast. It's nice they didn't have any amalgams. So we'll just get rid of this now. We can afford to spend the cards on this because we have Curious Obsession. Hell yeah! Get in first. Yes, we'll draw a card. Oh, yes, we will. Curious counters at 2. Play a land. Sick. I think I actually prefer playing Aether Vial here, and then Rattlechains. Let's fetch first. Alright, Curious Obsession is sick in this game so far. Absolutely sick. Here comes this Stinkweed Imp. They dredged 1,000,000 Faithless Lootings. Alright, there's a prized amalgam in there. They didn't hit anything else relevant with that. Another land. I think we're going to see a hard cast Stinkweed Imp. Flashback Faithless. They don't have any dredgers in their graveyard. Discarded 2. We're not afraid of Dark Blast. Sure, whatever. Can't kill the thing we care about. Start taking this vial up. Get on in for 2. Yes, we will draw a card. Curious counters at 3. Just keeps hitting our lands for us. This is great. Just great. Play that land. Pass that turn. Oh no, a Narcomoeba. They have a bunch of Dark Blasts. That's not what they dredged, though. They dredged Stinkweed Imp. I really want them to cast the Stinkweed Imp. Flashback Life from the Loam. I like that as a Spell Queller target. Gonna path the Narcomoeba. I don't think they have any. They probably have a basic swamp left in there. They don't. That's either in hand or they milled it. I'd be shocked they didn't play basic swamp. Okay, cool. Now we have this on 2 to protect our Queller and our Wanderer. Play out the Drogskol now. Tap for 7. So glad we finally got to use Curious Obsession. Yes. Nice. Wow, we've drawn so many cards this game. Crazy. Curious counters at 5 or 4. Sick. Pass. Well, maybe we should actually play the land. Yeah. Since we're gonna maybe draw 2 more cards next turn. You just get ranched by like triple Creeping Chill Dredge right here. 0 Creeping Chills. That's what you get. I bet they're all in their hand. Sure, we can take 5. That's fine. Flashback Faithless Looting. So the problem is they could hit multiple creeping chills with this faithless looting, and just kill us because they're gonna dredge a ton. So we actually do probably need to counter this. So I'm gonna sack the 3/3 Wanderer now to make sure they don't do a bunch of dredges and cheese us out. Because they could dredge, I mean, like, just with the Faithless Looting, they can dredge 10 cards if they... Actually, looks like probably 8 is the max, but still, I mean, they only have 23 cards left in their library, and presumably all of the Creeping Chills are in there, so... That is a weird thing, like, with Dredge. You didn't used to have to worry about that. But now they have this weird reach where at the end of the game, they can just dredge as much as possible and hit all their Creeping Chills, and you die. And it's an ability you can't even interact with. So, all right. Fortunately, we have 3 Rest in Peace and a Grafdigger's Cage to put in. Disdainful Stroke's kind of a weird one. It can counter Conflagrate, but I don't think we need it. Auriok Champion's really good. Echoing Truth and Kira are also great. Drogskol Captain is not so good. Now that we drew all the cards with Curious Obsession, I don't actually think we need it anymore in this match. As good as it was there, they just have a lot of ways to kill the creature, including blocking with Stinkweed Imp. So I think that's actually a fine cut. Get rid of another Drogskol Captain. Selfless Spirit's pretty nice. It lets us block in ways that we wouldn't normally be able to block in. Nebelgast Herald is fine in the main, but I don't think we need it now. And cut a Rattlechains. We're not at 25 creatures post board. It's not that much. It's a small number. Oh man, I love taking game 1 against Dredge. Got a mulligan this, no blue mana, no hate piece. This will keep. Hope to see a land with this scry. Not just keeping this for the Rest in Peace, we're just keeping it because we have 3 things we can do if we draw any second land, so. Obviously the Rest in Peace is nice. Cool. Got there. They get 2 turns to do their thing before we Rest in Peace. Dredge doesn't really have big turn 1 plays anymore because they don't have the Insolent Neonate package. So really they get 1 turn to do the nonsense. Creeping Chill discarded from hand. Well, that's nice. And Life from the Loam is their only dredger. They hit Stinkweed Imp. They also, I wonder if they have green mana. Alright, they will have green mana here. Alright, so even, so they'll cast Life from the Loam here. So we get to exile Life from the Loam and Stinkweed Imp from their graveyard with this, so even if they have the Nature's Claim, they're starting from scratch. That's pretty good. They probably do have the Nature's Claim. Oh wow, they don't. Okay, cool. 4-0. That was funny. We finally drew cards with Curious Obsession. Amazing. 4 cards with Curious Obsession. That's 1 per match. I don't think that Dredge is the best matchup for Curious Obsession, but we kept that hand on we got lucky. Let's be honest. That hand wasn't even very good. It only had 1 land in it, and then we just drew land to make our turn 2 work, and then we just ran away with Curious Obsession, which was dope, but it could have gone really badly, and it would have been our fault. Let's see if we can wrap this up with another win for the 5-0. I still don't think the Curious Obsession is that good. That was a fun game with it, but I don't know. If the Obsession had been like a Charticourse or a Smuggler's Copter, that hand would have been a mulligan. So I guess that's something to consider. Is like, what if I weren't playing Obsession? What would it look like then? That game would have been a mulligan, and mulliganing blind against what turns out to be Dredge in game 1 is probably a recipe for disaster. I'm surprised that our Dredge opponent in game 1 didn't do the thing where you Dark Blast and upkeep, and then Dredge back Dark Blast, and then Dark Blast again, because they could have killed our Mausoleum Wanderer that way. I think we had the shields down at some point. Maybe they didn't have the Dark Blast at that point, but I feel like they never dredged it. I think that they had that in their hand. I don't know. It seemed like they were a little unlucky in that game. In game 1. Game 2, they prematurely scooped. We didn't have any threat on the board. They could have gone a couple of turns to find a Nature's Claim. They had the green mana. Cool, on the play. Cool. Yeah, this hand is dope. This hand doesn't care what our opponent's doing, it just tries to race. If we draw another Lord, this hand can kill him on turn 4, right? Because turn 2 we hit for 3, turn 3 we hit for 6 for a total of 9, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the board. Yeah, so, oh, actually, and Mutavault. So yeah, this is a turn 4 kill hand with no one if they don't interact. That's fun. It's always fun for game 1. I like starting the match like that. It's dope that our most aggressive creature... Oh my god, beat Elves. Yes! This hand can beat Elves, for sure. It's sick that our most aggressive creature is also interaction for combo and control. So, like, we can keep these Merfolk hands, like, where we just fish them out, but still have a key piece of interaction if necessary. Alright, the only issue is that Elves can block the Mutavault, so if they don't deal any damage to themselves and we don't draw another Lord, we don't actually have turn 4. Heritage Druid. Block. Lord. Yeah! Wow, this has been a lucky league. Alright. I don't think there's any conceivable way for them to kill us this turn. We will swing for 12 next turn in the air. 17 total, but 5 on the ground. Oh my god, this is great. No abrupt decay. Man, out tribal aggroed elves. That's just lucky. Okay, Well, we have Grafdigger's Cage. We have Disdainful Strokes for Collected Company. And we have Echoing Truth. That's what we're bringing in. Thalia does not really do much of anything against elves. Easy cut there. Nebelgast Herald's only okay. I think Curious Obsession is going to be good because they can't block. They don't really play much in the way of removal. And it will draw us into potentially more ways to slow them down. And that's what matters. Selfless Spirit's medium against them. Let's cut one Aether Vial. Just to make room. I don't really know why. That's the card I look to if I want to cut something. Nah, maybe we should cut our Rattlechains. Oh no, we can't cut any more Rattlechains. We just cut a bunch of creatures. We only have 24 creatures now. Ooh, I don't like that. Let's only bring in one Echoing Truth so I can bring the Selfless Spirit back in. I don't like going to 24 creatures. Grafdigger's Cage is really key. Got a mulligan. Oh no, multiplied. Alright, well we have the cage, that's kind of nice. Echoing Truth is fine too. Let's get the cage out now. Since they can't Cord or Coco into their Rex Age or whatever they're playing, the cage is pretty safe. Vial would be an okay draw, land would be a lot better. Twinen's Elite, yep. Got a shock, which sucks. We'll get some good blocks in 2 turns if we draw a land next turn. Because if we draw a land, we can play out Drogskol Captain. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Take 8? Yikes. Yikes. Ooh, that's not what we wanted. Archdruid, no! Is there anything we can do to survive that? I don't think so. Nope, we're dead. That's fine, Multiply, whatever, it happens. Quick game, at least. Let's not Multiply. I think we're over sideboarding. No, I do want the no, I don't think we should have the Disdainful Strokes in here. I think Aether Vial and like Ariok Champion might honestly be okay. Nah, that's kind of silly, isn't it? I guess it's better than anything else we have. Nah, let's bring another Disdainful Stroke. Okay. If Ariok Champion can't block, then it's not good enough. Decent. Only decent. Or our opponent is mulliganing into the ground. Elves does not mulligan well. they need a critical mass. I'm actually going to path this. Since we have another path and we have a way to gas our hand back up, I just want to get rid of that because, like, if they have a Dwynen's Elite, for example, now it's just a 2/2. Yeah. Cool. That's a fine draw because now next turn, if we don't draw a land, we can still play Obsession and Vial. Okay, they do have a land. They have an Elvish Mystic. We're going to get Obsessed. And if they have Abrupt Decay, then we'll feel like an idiot. Looks like we might actually deal damage. We did! Woo! Yes, I'll draw a card. And we hit a land. Curious Obsession has drawn lands right on time, like every single time so far. Add it to the counter. 5. Nice. Elvish Clan Caller. Fine. Path the Clan Caller. Since they're, I mean, they mulligan before. This is not really a game, but because they're already low on resources, I'm just gonna give them lands. The fewer creatures, the better. Obviously, like, giving them lands means they can cycle the Horizon Canopy more freely, but whatever. Just whatever we can do to make sure that we win this race. Wow, 3 Aether Vials. That's rough, buddy. Draw a card. Oh yeah. Another land. Have we drawn anything that isn't a land off of Curious? Like, it's been fine. We've wanted to draw lands, but have we ever drawn anything that wasn't one? I don't know. Imagine how bad it would be if we didn't have the Curious Obsession and we just drew lands. Is that how you analyze a card? I don't know. Azuri. Don't feel like attacking us? Okay. Get a tapped land. Draw a non-land here, and then hopefully another non-land. Yes. Yes. Sweet. Just while they're all tapped out, just get all these fatties on the board. Put them on a 2-turn flying clock. Draw another card. Yes, please. Yes, please. we can enchant that because we already attacked with a creature. Very nice. Curious counters at 7. Look at these big fat Supreme things. 4/6. 4/6 with hexproof. If they have 1 removal spell, we're still kind of in trouble. But it does not look like they do. They can swing for a lot. 4, 8, 13. They can swing for 13. Definitely will not block. Right, it's 4 plus 9. It's 13 damage. Plus 3 times 3 is 9. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The most they can do is 13. If they do that, they tap out. I guess this is a safe block, right? Because they don't have enough mana to use a removal spell and killed and pump. Yeah, so we'll block an elf with our 4/6 because it'll be a 4/4 after the pump. Okay, so we take 9, go to 6, they lose their elf, and then we win. Not much of a match. Game 1 was kind of cool. Game 2 we mulled to 5, game 3 they mulled to 4. GG's. Alright, we did it. Got the 5-0 with Curious Obsession Spirits. Well, the game against Dredge, game 1 against Dredge, Curious Obsession was so cool and really strong. Game 3 against Elves was kind of a joke because they mulled to 4, and we didn't even keep a very good hand. I was a little bit underwhelmed with our hand, and I think if they had even a reasonable start, we probably would have lost with that hand we kept. But they ended up mulling to 4. We were on the play, so we didn't know what their mulligan decision was. We just kept a mediocre 7 that probably should have been a mulligan. But again, I'm sort of over prioritizing keeping hands with Curious Obsession because I want to see how it works. I know that's really bad testing because you end up keeping hands that you know aren't very good, and then they don't perform sometimes, and you're like, oh, that card sucks. It's like, well, you shouldn't have kept that hand. And the fact that you're keeping it just for the sake of that card is only going to make that card look worse. So probably we shouldn't have done what we did in either of the games that Curious Obsession was good, but it turned out being good anyway. We drew 7 extra cards in the league with Curious Obsession. All of that was in 2 games. So I think the one game we had Curious Obsession on turn 2 on Wanderer, and then the other game we had Curious Obsession on turn 3 on Supreme Phantom. And then we drew a card every turn for the rest of the game, which ended up being 4 turns against Dredge and 3 turns against Elves. kind of cool. Still, I mean, honestly, I'm still not that psyched on the card, but you know, it did perform better today than it did in the previous league, and it got us a 5-0, or it contributed a little bit to the 5-0, so that's kind of cool. Thanks for watching. I'm just gonna call it quits now, because I thought my partner was gonna be out all night, but they're gonna be home soon, and I'm probably gonna make some spaghetti because this is a spaghetti house. Thanks for watching if you watched. I hope you have a great rest of the evening, or whatever time of day it is. I hope you have a good rest of the day, and a good week as well. Have a good night.